Hello, thank you for tuning in. I'm not going to be offering a transmission in this particular video. Rather, I'm going to be chatting a little bit about an upcoming Odyssey, the Vocal Womb Rewilding Odyssey. That is starting on Friday, July 19th. It's going to run for 2 months until September 6th, and sign up is going to be open until well into the Odyssey. And I don't like creating kind of hard sign up deadlines because I think it can lead to a little bit of urgency, feeling like, oh, I have to sign up, or, before the deadline. And that can kind of just get in the way of really feeling into if this is a space we want to be in, right? It's really important to me that anyone coming into the space truly wants to be here, and that the decision is made from this place of alignment without urgency kind of distorting that decision. I know for myself, deadlines, can kind of create this almost this FOMO of like, well, I better just join because I won't be able to tomorrow and I might miss out on something. So soft deadlines, even if you are seeing this video and we're well into the container, even past the late soft deadline, and you really feel like you want to be a part of the space, just reach out to me. All of the materials in this Odyssey, the self-paced materials, are truly self-paced, meaning you'll have them for the lifetime of the program, which will be at least a couple years, if not longer. Essentially, as long as I have my website up, the Earth Oracle Mystery School website, you will have access to your online materials, and you're really invited to engage with them at your own pace. We're going to have live sessions, 6 live sessions throughout the Odyssey. So even if you don't get a chance to dive into your self-paced materials until after the container ends, it's all good, right? It's just supporting your integration and embodiment. So there's no wrong way to interact with the personal kind of self-paced materials, and all of the live sessions are going to be recorded as well. So if you are joining later, you'll have those recordings to engage with. And if you like to join live, then you can try and join us live for those calls. But I just want to talk a little bit about this Odyssey and share some things, some perspectives, some pieces that are not necessarily on the website page. So Vocal Womb Rewilding is a 2-month Odyssey run through the Earth Oracle Mystery School. It is a rewilding of the vocal womb dyad. So this beautiful, innate, sacred connection between the voice and the womb. It's a journey of embodiment, really, like coming home to the body, to the pelvic chalice, cultivating somatic relationship to the womb, as well as exploring the dark feminine. Dark feminine is a very big part of this container, really integrating and expanding our kind of feminine spectrum, right? The full spectrum of the feminine, and calling home those parts of our feminine nature that we have maybe shadowed or just been conditioned through society to shadow, to turn away from, to suppress, to judge, to demonize. And then, of course, it's a deep unearthing of the womb song, right? The practice of womb singing, of unifying the voice in the womb, kind of awakening and revitalizing and celebrating the vocal womb dyad, which to me is womb song, right? Like womb song it's not something we do. It is an expression of the vocal womb dyad, right? The womb transmitting her essence, her wisdom. And this can happen without song, without words, right? It can happen, I believe, just in our presence, right? But it can also happen in a very real way through our voice and through intuitive song and channeling and just liberated feminine vocal expression. So I want to break down actually the contents of the space. There is an overview on the website about, the different modules and kind of what we're exploring with those modules thematically. But I wanted to go a little bit deeper and actually kind of go over the actual chapters of this space. For anyone who's still thinking about joining and would like to get like a deeper kind of look into what is this Odyssey actually about? Like, what are we actually exploring, right? Not just the general theme or intention, like what are we actually getting into? So there's 3 modules for this Odyssey. The first module is Soma and the physiological womb. So this is where we're dropping into the body. We are cultivating somatic relationship, right? We're going to be exploring a little bit of body literacy, nothing too crazy or over the top, but we will be exploring the voice womb connection, right? The very real physiological connection between the voice and the womb, specifically exploring the cervix and the vagus nerve and how those entities directly communicate with the larynx, and also just exploring like the way in which our nervous system, right, and where we're at with regard to our capacity, our sense of safety in our bodies, and how all of that relates to our experience of our bodies and our experience of our womb. There's a really big emphasis here on honoring capacity and cultivating safety. Obviously, when we're exploring the womb and the female body, most women hold varying degrees of sexual trauma in the body, in the womb space. And so for me, this is like, first of all, it's such an honor just to facilitate a conversation and a journey like this. It's something I take very seriously, and as someone who's experienced a lot of sexual trauma, it's something I do not take lightly, and I really emphasize and center the importance of safety and exploring ourselves, our womb, right? Our womb space and all of the entities of the pelvic chalice, womb, yoni, ovaries, cervix, right? Aspects of our sexuality, exploring it in a way that is really tender and really loving, that cultivates safety, that honors safety, and that also really honors your capacity and your boundaries rather than bypassing in the sake of trying to heal or fix something. So somatic presence, somatic embodiment, nervous system awareness, and just an overall awareness of trauma and the way trauma can kind of inform our experience is a very centered part of this space. So that first module will just be dropping into Soma, right, in the physiological womb, cultivating an understanding of just our somatic experience. And when I say this, I don't mean that we're just teaching it or talking about it. A big part of these online self-paced materials are vocal meditations. That's one of the main materials or mediums that we use. And the vocal meditations are essentially a meditation that you are guided through in which you use your voice. And the idea is that it's a space for you to directly participate in the transmission and the theme, not just receive, not just learn, right? Not just absorb, but actively engage. I love vocal meditations. I've been using them in my containers for years. I think this is a medium I will maybe always use because of how powerful it is, and because it's something that actually allows the participant to explore within themselves and for themselves. Part of why I like it is that it's not about beginner, intermediate, advanced. Regardless of where you are in your vocal journey, you can engage with the vocal meditations, right? And that's kind of how they're made, right? They're made for really anyone, regardless of where they are in their path. So a vocal meditation that I might use, right, might be the same vocal meditation that I offer to someone who has just started using their voice, right? As a beginner in exploring their voice, I would use the same vocal meditation that they would use, right? And the idea is anyone can go into meditation, anyone can be guided through a process, and just depending on where you're at, that will determine where you go in your journey. And the emphasis of these vocal meditations is developing a relationship to your voice. And simply by going through these vocal meditations, you will begin to intuitively and organically develop your relationship with your voice. Your voice will guide you intuitively. This is the beauty of this practice, is it's a way to drop into the wisdom and intelligence of your body and let the mind kind of participate, but in a more passive kind of observational way. And it also is a way to cultivate somatic relationship, because a big emphasis of these vocal meditations is dropping into the body and actually interfacing with different aspects of the body, interfacing with the womb, interfacing with cervix, interfacing with the nervous system, with the body, with the tissues of the body. And what I found is when we do this with the voice and we allow the voice to guide this process, incredible things happen. I have found that like the strongest, most embodied somatic connections I have cultivated with my body, and especially my womb space, has come through my voice. And these vocal meditations are developed in service of that, for you to unearth all of this for yourself, right? So it's open in the sense that there's no specific outcome that you need, and I'm not telling you what to do or what should happen. Rather, I'm providing guidance and kind of a structure for your voice, your body, the intelligence of your being, of your soma, to kind of flow. So those vocal meditations will be a part of every single chapter. There will be an essay, just kind of introducing the themes, and then there'll be a vocal meditation which will include a transmission, me presenting the theme of the vocal meditation and offering my own piece and perspective on it, and then dropping into the vocal meditation itself, which is an opportunity for you to explore that texture, that dimension within yourself. So once we've moved through the first module, we're also going to have a guest facilitator on that module, Michelle Gail Williams, who I just shared a Instagram live conversation I had with her. So if you're curious, you want to check her out, hear a little bit about her kind of path and her perspective, you can listen to that. But she's going to be guest facilitating on our second session. There's 2 sessions for every module, and she'll be there on the module of Soma and the physiological womb, and she'll be teaching about womb massage, which is a really beautiful way that we can drop into intimacy and relationship with the womb. When we're concluded with that chapter, we'll move on to the next module. And the next module is the dark feminine, which is going to be a journey into the underworld of the feminine. All of those aspects of our feminine being we have denied, we have repressed, we have judged, we have been condemned for or demonized because of. And my sister Yara Dedanen, who you might be familiar with her, she was co-facilitating the Oracular Earthkeeper Odyssey, and she's so incredible. She's going to be co-facilitating both of the sessions of that module, right? The module is called Shadow and the Dark Feminine. And we're going to be diving into 3 dark feminine archetypes. So there's 3 chapters within that module. Every module has 3 chapters, I should mention. I hope that I'm covering this in a somewhat reasonable way. I am averse to linear thinking, so I can't help but hop around a little bit. But she is going to be a part of that module, and we'll be journeying through 3 archetypes together. And those archetypes are the wild woman and primal power, right, as a kind of sacred aspect of the wild woman, the holy whore, and pleasure, or kind of pure pleasure, as a facet of the holy whore, and the huntress and righteous rage as one of her kind of sacred aspects. And we're going to dive into these archetypes. We're going to understand them as universal archetypes that we can connect with and mentor with, but we're also going to meet these archetypes within ourselves. This is going to be potentially a tender, maybe like, a little provocative module. Really potentially meeting some aspects of ourselves that we've completely denied, or maybe just have stories, judgmental, fear-based stories around. Or maybe we're just going to have a ton of fun and just dive into the delicious textures of those dark feminine archetypes. Most likely, it's a combination of all of those things, right? The joy and the kind of excitement as well as the discomfort and the provocation, which is a really important part of this work, you know, in doing womb work and reclaiming the full spectrum of our feminine nature. Like, there will be discomfort. It's a big part of it, you know, and just making peace with the darkness, with the shadow. And maybe liberating some of those textures within ourselves and calling home those aspects of ourselves that have been pushed away. Then we move to the third module, which is sound and womb song. And in this module, we are, you know, standing on the foundation of this, you know, connection to our soma and the physiological womb, and just having this foundation of relationship with our body and womb space, as well as having done this shadow work with the dark feminine within ourselves and within the world around us. Then we can kind of really begin to explore the womb song, really allow the womb song to open, allow the womb to sing. There's going to be 3 chapters in this module as well. And these chapters are womb lineage. We're going to be exploring the lineage of our womb, connecting to the women in our lineage, doing some ancestral healing around the womb, around our experience as women, and you know, opening our voice and our womb to the songs of our ancestors, of the women who came before us, and creating space for any integration or healing that desires to happen. The next chapter is going to be a chapter focused on the paradox of all of this, of the divine, soft, loving, feminine, as well as the darkness and the rage and the power and the pleasure, and really unifying these dimensions, because I think that can be challenging sometimes for women, you know, when we begin to explore the dark or shadowed aspects of our femininity. It can feel like it's at odds with the other version of ourselves, right? And it can feel that it even threatens our ability to show up with unconditional love and right relationship and harmony, right? It can feel dangerous. Like, is it safe to actually be in my rage? Is it safe to be in my pleasure? Is it safe to be in my power, you know? So we're going to be exploring that, and this is going to be the self-paced materials, I should mention, all of these chapters. And kind of unifying these 2 polarities within a larger, more authentic expression of just being a woman and being all of it and being multidimensional. The final chapter is an exploration of your wild feminine landscape, and just a deep dive and unearthing of your gorgeous, feminine, wild, delicious landscape, and just a space for you to explore that and continue to create a relationship with that. And those are all self-paced chapters, each chapter that I've mentioned. And you're going to have access to those chapters and explore them in your own way, in your own time. As I mentioned before, every module, 3 modules, right, with 3 chapters in each module, so there's 9 chapters. Every module is going to have 2 live sessions, right? So we're going to have 2 sessions for soma and the physiological womb, 2 sessions for shadow and the dark feminine, and 2 sessions for sound and womb song. Michelle will be co-guest facilitating on the first module. Yara will be co-guest facilitating on the second module. And the last module, it will just be me facilitating. And within these live group sessions, we're going to be unearthing these topics together. If you've joined any of my Odysseys or online containers, you know there's a really big emphasis on community. This is not a space where you're going to show up live and just sit there with your camera off, unless you want to have your camera off, by the way, that's welcome. But it's not a space where you are passive and just learning and making notes. There certainly will be some transmission, some teaching, some sharing, and we always conclude live sessions with a vocal meditation or some kind of practice. But a lot of these group sessions are oriented around conversation. And I have found this to be not only my favorite part of any container, but the most healing and nourishing part of it for myself personally. There's a really big emphasis on community being an intimate community with one another, especially as women within this container. A space for conversation, for deep sharing, for being held, for being seen. And that is the heart and soul of this Odyssey and of any space that I offer. It's coming together as a community, no hierarchy, right? None of that. Coming together, sitting in circle and being and unearthing and moving through things together. I really believe that every single person who joins any space within this mystery school is an active co-creator of that space. And you are welcome to engage with the space as much as you desire. So if you don't want to show up live and you just want to watch the replays, totally welcome. If you want to show up live but you want to keep your camera off and you don't want to participate, you just want to listen, you're welcome. But if you want to show up and you want to be a part of this space fully and see and understand yourself as a co-creator, you are so, so, so welcome. I used to think that I needed to like give so much information or practice, or like that I needed to do more in these spaces. Now I still provide a lot of like in-depth materials. I can't help myself. I'm a perfectionist in that way, but I used to emphasize that piece. Like I just need to give the right information or give the right meditation or practice or, teach or offer the right thing. And now, that is just a supplement as far as I'm concerned. What I have found is that these spaces, what makes them magic is what happens when you come together totally naked, heart open and willing for the spirit of the group, of the co-creation to guide. And I found myself just entering deeper and deeper layers of just complete vulnerability and openness and honesty, and creating a space where like that is what is welcome, and that is what is nourished, and that is what is encouraged. One other thing I want to mention is, which I somewhat spoke to just earlier, and I also spoke to this a bit in the Instagram live I did with Michelle. This is not a space to fix yourself. This is not a self-help, self-improvement space. I have completely let go of the paradigm of self-help and healing and self-improvement. It's something I think is overcapitalized on, and I have no interest engaging with it. I believe that healing is innate and organic. It is something our bodies and our hearts and our minds do when we are held in the way we need to be held. This is not a space for you to fix and heal everything. Whether, you are, challenged with reproductive health symptoms, menstrual hormonal symptoms, whether you are looking to, heal or integrate aspects of your femininity, your relationship to the feminine, to the masculine, to your sexuality, to your expression as a woman, your relationship to your voice and singing and sharing. There's no orientation of improving any of those things or bettering yourself or activating some divine feminine expression of yourself as if it's not there inherently, organically. This is about relationship. We are deconstructing, rewilding, right? Letting go of the hypermasculine patriarchal programming conditioning that causes us to believe we need to be better or something is wrong, right? That causes us to constantly compare ourselves with the women around us, especially in platforms like social media, and constantly feel like we need to be better or we're not healed enough. This space is about relationship, cultivating intimate, embodied relationship with your body, with your womb space, with your physiological womb, energetic womb, right? With the feminine within you, with the divine mother. And letting go, learning to release those stories of being better, making peace with all of our challenges, right? And realizing that there's there's no like getting past all of it, transcending all of it. As long as we're in these human bodies, we will be challenged, right? You know, as long as we are in a body with a womb, like we will experience challenges with our menstrual reproductive health. It's part of the journey, you know? We will experience challenges around our sexual experience. We will continue to grow and develop and heal and integrate. But that doesn't mean that we escape the difficult aspects of being, the suffering or the shadow. And that's why a big emphasis of this space is working with the dark feminine and the shadow, because I have found that the dark feminine and the feminine underworld has really taught me how to dance with these challenges, dance with my trauma, dance with my fear, dance with the urge to be better, you know, to be improved, to dance with the pain or the discomfort or really any aspects of my feminine experience that don't, you know, are not optimal, are not what I would truly desire, and still honor your desire, still honor your intention, still believe that you can heal anything, right? And become anything, but without the agenda, without the expectation, right? As well as really honoring our boundaries, our capacity, not pushing past what your body actually needs and where you're actually at so that you can fix something, heal something, get to the next level. Because when we just fully soften into who we are and we start relating to our womb and listening to her and listening to our feminine, rather than going, I need you to be like this, I need you to do that, we need to do that, we need to upgrade, we need to activate, we need to improve. That's when, like, from my perspective, true feminine healing happens, and it happens organically. It happens through relationship, through presence, and really taking the time to cultivate that relationship and also deconstruct those stories. And this is just like, this is how I understand vocal womb rewilding, right? Letting go of the new age, like patriarchal, hyper-masculine self-improvement piece. Nothing inherently wrong with that if you're into that. Nice. But that's not what this is about. That's not how I orient any longer. Rather coming home to your body, coming into relationship with your body, and really getting curious about, where am I? Not where should I go, but where am I? And how can I support my body more, my womb more, my feminine more with where she is? And within the context of this odyssey, doing this in community with other women. There's also going to be a Telegram group, I should mention, a group for us to stay connected and share our songs and share our experiences, whatever's coming up, to share resources with one another. Yes, that is all I will share. As far as investment goes, I offer all Earth Oracle Mystery School Odysseys at a recommended exchange. So that's a pretty broad range. Our recommended exchange for this 2-month Odyssey is anywhere from $450 to $750. And anything within that range is accepted. Whatever is available to you. Like whatever is actually available and within your capacity. And we have payment plans as well, so you can break that up over 1, 2, or 3 months. And if you're like, oh, I feel like this is a space I'm meant to be in, and you still can't quite afford, the minimum of $450, no worries. Reach out anyway. We'll find another price. We'll work it out. It's not a problem. I am not interested in monetizing and capitalizing on these spaces. Rather, I should say I'm not interested in capitalizing on these spaces. I have to monetize to a degree to support myself, but capitalizing on them is not something I'm interested in. So have a look at the website. You can read all about it. I've written quite a lot. Maybe I've written too much. I don't know. And at the bottom of the website, there's a little registration portal. You can share, write in your name and your email address, and we'll get back to you and figure everything out. And of course, if you're seeing this later and we've already begun, reach out anyway, because sign up is open until well into the container. And You will maintain access to everything throughout the following years, throughout the lifetime of the mystery school, and have all the replays of any sessions you missed. That is all, and feel free, if you have any questions about anything, you can write them down in the comments, or you can write to me personally through my website, through Instagram, through an email. And feel free to, also, if anything comes up for you in listening to this piece that I'm offering, feel free to also share that in the comments below. The link to the Odyssey is in the description box, so you can check that out if you desire. Or maybe you're not going to join, but you just liked listening to this conversation and it's brought up some pieces for you to bring into your own journey. Vocal womb rewilding is not like a trademark thing. It's not like my thing, okay? It's the birthright of every woman, and you don't have to engage with the practice of vocal womb rewilding within this Odyssey. You can do it for yourself. You can read the website, you can listen to this YouTube video, you can listen to the Instagram lives, and just intuitively draw from that and guide yourself, right? So that's all. So much love. Womb hugs to you.